ready? This Pry Open Your Third Eye episode is called The Lightning Flash, a Tarot and Tree of Life meditation. 2 days before this was recorded, I was invited to give a full workshop on Tarot and the Tree of Life at Chadesh Yameinu, the Jewish shul that I attend in Santa Cruz. The workshop covered the relationship between Tarot and Kabbalah's Tree of Life, including the true origins in the 12th century, and how and why these two systems are actually one single mystical system in two parts. We had a wonderful time exploring how the Tarot and Tree of Life work and the many things it is used for. This workshop was specifically dedicated to using this as a tool for one's spiritual development and to ultimately attain spiritual consciousness. The full workshop, including hard-hitting questions from the nearly 20 participants, is now live on Pry Open Your Third Eye podcast on YouTube and all of your major podcast streaming channels. This Lightning Flash meditation is a follow-up to the workshop. The workshop is for the knowledge of Tarot and the Tree, and this one is how we put it to use for spiritual development. 93. Pry Open Your Third Eye with me, your big-headed know-it-all, polymath Scott Spackey, and guests. Change your mind, change your life. Full episodes, services, knowledge, and all you'll ever need on scottspackey.com and life-mind.com. Are you ready? Welcome back to Pry Open Your Third Eye. I'm your co-host, big-headed know-it-all, Scott Spackey. We're going to be going by my spiritual name, Rosh Krishnanan, today. And of course, Chloe is with us today. Good morning, Chloe.
Good morning.
And our guest, Amy, is with us today. Good morning, Amy. Good morning,
Good
Amy.
morning. Sorry about that.
There you go. Nice to hear you. Remember, I can't see the screen now. So we've had a couple little glitches. Now, so let's jump right into this. We're going to be doing the Lightning Flash Kabbalah Tree of Life meditation. I'm going to do a guided meditation. We did the entire Tarot and Tree of Life workshop the other day. And it was a wonderful presentation. It went on for over 2 hours. We had a lot of great questions, a lot of audience participation, but there was one pervading question that kept being asked me that I don't think I was quite understanding at the time, which was, how do you do it? How do you use it? How do I make this work? And they wanted a meditation example, which we gave a couple of. But in retrospect, I've decided that I want to do the entire guided meditation to the Lightning Flash. And let me explain briefly what that is, and then we're just going to go ahead and do it. A guided meditation is going to be fun. The Lightning Flash demonstrates the process of conception to manifestation of all things. So when the divine creative force creates the universe, it goes through a process from, again, conception, inspiration, intellect, etc., to being a physical, real thing. The lightning flash is the image of this. It captures it. It is the bolt from the blue. It doesn't matter if you're creating a universe or making a sandwich, if I'm writing a book or making lunch. Everything that we do goes through these stages. That's described in alchemy, in Kundalini and Tantra Yoga, and Kabbalah's Tree of Life with the Lightning Flash, all Tree of Life aspects. Making a sandwich. I have a spark of inspiration. I feel hunger. I want to provide nutrition to my body. It becomes more intellectual. Eventually, it goes through a process that puts me in the kitchen, standing there making a sandwich, putting peanut butter on bread, and then eating it. It's gone from conception to manifestation in the material realm. As a mystic, personally myself, I'm less interested in that. I want to do it in reverse. As the soul goes through the same process to incarnate into a physical being, a person, or a tree or an animal or whatever, we also, well, let me quote Keller Desjardins. I'm not a human being having a spiritual experience. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. We want to reconnect and fuse with and have union with our spiritual consciousness and understanding, our source, us, what we truly are. So what I'm going to be doing today is a spin on the lightning flash that goes from conception to material manifestation. We're going to go in reverse. It's also known as the flaming sword meditation, the flaming sword process. So it's not meditation. So the difference is, as a practicing mystic, the lightning flash is more than just a concept to study and learn the process of creation and inspiration. For me, it is an instruction, a tool, a device to be able to implement, which that is what the Tree of Life truly is a tool and device to be able to create spiritual consciousness. That's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to guide you through it. We're going to do it in reverse. We're going to go from material manifestation as human beings to our spiritual consciousness. We're going to work the way back up the tree. We're going to climb the tree. We're going to go tree climbing with the Tree of Life. Now you can see here that the lightning flash goes from Keter, which is the top Sephiroth of the Tree of Life, and it goes through every one of them, along the branches and down into manifestation, down in Malkuth. Now I'm going to, I don't have to use my pointer. I got my little clicker here, right here. Boom. Now we're going to modify this slightly too. You can see with the red arrows there, we're going to go for Malkuth, but I have a slight deviation from what the other one was showing. There's that one that goes through every Sephiroth. We're going to skip some because for two reasons. Number one, because we're going to condense a little bit so we're not here for 2 hours doing it. We're going to be here for maybe 30, 40 minutes tops. That's what I'm hoping to do, to go through the entire tree. And also because I want to demonstrate how you can somewhat bypass certain chakras and Sephiroth and paths. So one, for example, I don't have an arrow for that. You could go from Malkuth straight up the middle to Keter and on up to enlightenment. You can take any path you want. You can zigzag anywhere you want. The point is to go from material being to being a stupid human to an illumined being, a spiritually conscious being, to go up, climb the tree. So we're going to take this route today for those two reasons. One, to demonstrate how we can somewhat bypass and create alternative routes to go from being material conscious to spiritual conscious. And also so we can save a little bit of time too, to begin to prepare for the Tree of Life lightning flash meditation in reverse. The best time would be in the morning, before you have inundated your mind and your consciousness with material obligations. Wake up, go into a private space, a sacred space that you can create any way that you can, and begin with some asanas. And I'm going to demonstrate that, and I can't see you, so please tell me. I don't know. I'm going to angle this up a little bit. If I stand up, can you see me from head to? Can you see my head to waist?
Yeah, the top of your crown. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, great. So what would be best is if you begin with some asanas, a few stretching poses to simply limber up, get your body in some fluid motion. You've just woke up and you're kind of want to get some energy flowing. So by simply doing salutations of the sun. The difference is in this episode, we're not going to be doing the entire salutation. So we're going back into the corpse pose and the downward dog and all that. Yeah, so I'm simply expanding, reaching up, doing the salutation of the sun. And then I also circle my hips, just some motion, maybe lifting my legs. So I'm simply trying to get some motion to stretch out a little bit and get the energy flowing. So once again, you could do this for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want. And if you don't have time, like today, we're going to do that. A little bit of salutation of the sun. Hopefully, since I can't see you both are doing this. I'm guessing some of you are going like, no, we're doing it. So
we're doing it.
Okay, excellent. And as you're doing so, also focusing on your breath. Once you've done that, take a seat again. And now we're going to do some brief pranayama. Now, again, you can do as much pranayama as you want. A full pranayama, a full preparation for me would be to begin with some complete breaths, which we're going to do right now. Preferably inhale and exhale through the nose if you can. And bring the inhalation down into your belly. You would do several rounds of this. And today we're going to, then you would do some retention. Breathe into your belly. Pause and hold it for a moment. And then exhale through the nose and breathe it all out. So when you breathe in with the complete breath, the reason it's called the complete breath is because when you inhale through your nose and into your belly, mentally directed into your belly, you breathe in all that you can possibly take in. Fill your belly. You can't inhale anymore. Pause for a moment. And then when you exhale, same thing. Make sure you expel all of the oxygen. Get rid of all of it. I'm not sitting in a lotus position. I'm sitting comfortably. My palms are open and facing up. You might have your eyes closed. A couple rounds of this breath. With awareness of your breath. Now, formally, I might then go to something of a alternate nostril breath, which I would definitely do. And then I would even go as far as doing a fire breath. I do not recommend that for neophytes and people that are first beginning. Fire breath is very intense. So I'm simply giving demonstration here for the beginner up to the experienced and more advanced. So if you want to do a full, intense Kabbalistic Tree of Life lightning flash meditation, do as much yoga asanas as you want. Do a complete round of them, then do complete rounds of pranayama, leading up to alternate nostril breathing, which for me is pretty vital. Close with some fire breath, and then return to some complete breaths to kind of tame it all back down. What this is doing is synchronizing your physical body, your neurological body, and your energy body. It's a calming effect as well. Now, we're going to bring our awareness. We're going to begin down in Malkut, kingdom, the 10th Sephiroth. You can look at the screen, you can take in these images. We're going to be using these correspondences. The tarot cards that correspond to the Sephiroth. You can see the yantra of the Muladhara Chakra, and you can see the pentacle of the 5-pointed star. This represents Earth. We're going to begin there. This is our material manifestation. This is our physical body, our physical world, our worldly obligations. They reside here. The Muladhara Chakra is at the base of our spine. And you can see in the image here that it is a reddish color. It is actually a reddish brown color, an earthy color. Pentacles is the suit, Pentacles is the suit that corresponds to the Sephiroth of Malkut within the tarot deck. And you can see here that I have all four. So the cards are the pages. All four suits, all four pages within the suits. Wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. Pages are messengers. They bring and they take messages back and forth. So as we focus on Malkut, with your awareness at the base of your spine, you can take all these concepts within you. That you're in the core of the earth, the density of physical manifestation, the wondrous natural earth elements. Feel yourself to be grounded. You're part of the earth. It is the glory of the kingdom a miraculous, synchronized, harmonious existence. When it functions properly, everything is in synchronicity. All of your desires reside within there. Your sex is within the Muladhara chakra. Your desires, your ambitions. We can convert these beyond worldly ambitions and desires to something more. The purpose of our existence within the material manifestation is to transcend it. You can use all these images as your yantras. Examine them, take them in, just stare at them, whatever you like, to resonate and have an intimate relationship with these features and elements. We're going to travel. I want you to allow yourself, as you continue to breathe comfortably, to allow yourself to feel lighter. Your material manifestation in reality is stable and secure, and therefore we can begin to journey away from it. We're going to be traveling up the tree into spirit. We're going to begin with the path of Koph, the Hebrew letter Koph, which means back of head. The tarot correspondence is the moon, which represents the subconscious and many other things. You can see in the slides that you have the letter Koph. Unlike English alphabet and other languages, the Hebrew alphabet, every piece of that image has a meaning to it. You can use the card and you can see two dogs that represent both sides of our consciousness, two pillars representing two sides of our consciousness. You can see a sea animal, a crustacean coming out of the primordial waters. Everything rising up, that even the trail, going back to the towers into the mountains, and it's all coming up to the illumined celestial body that hovers above. Raining down from it what look like little flames, because those are called yods, as in yod, he, va, he. The primordial essence. We're traveling with our subconscious. And as this path is represented by the back of the head, I want you to bring your consciousness as you're breathing and meditating to the back of your head. Within that area is your pineal gland. This is the seat of consciousness, as the Greeks said. It is where our soul first inhabits our physical body. It resides there. It spreads throughout the body. But I want you to meditate on these concepts, your subconscious mind, these two dogs in the tarot, bang at the moon/sun, the two towers, providing balance and stability, parameters, boundaries, to focus us into your consciousness. We are now traveling away from the material density of the material phenomena into the conscious areas, into thought. We're going to arrive, as we travel this path, always remaining aware of your breath. And our first stop is going to be Netzach. color here is green. The planet that represents it is the planet of Venus. Feminine, duality, combinations, relationships. The tarot correspondences here are the sevens. We can see in the images here, we have the Seven of Wands, Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. Each card has its own meaning. Whichever one you are drawn to, meditate on the image there. Whether you understand it or not. Every image has, every part, every feature of the image has an exact, precise symbolism and meaning for you. You don't need to understand it necessarily intellectually. Let yourself be drawn to one. And keep in mind the Sephiroth of Netzach, victory. As we travel up, we experience, as we leave the dense world, victory is accomplishment, achievement, triumph, success, results, so that you know and can know that all of your efforts as you travel the tree today can bear fruits and results. In the Seven of Cups card, you can see an image there standing and contemplating 7 cups with 7 different things that they bear. All the aspects of the human condition. Which shall we choose? We can choose anything. Knowledge, inspiration, spirit, greed, avarice, it's up to us. Look at the Seven of Pentacles, and you see the figure there staring at the pentacles that are the fruits on this shrub. And he's contemplating and experiencing and benefiting from the results of his labor and wondering what it means and how profound this is. There's an opportunity within Netzach to do just that, to contemplate your ambitions, to align them with spiritual ambitions as we travel up, away from the material phenomena, into the realms of spirit. We're going to continue journeying up, allowing our consciousness to expand and travel further from the dense material phenomena into the spiritual realms. We're going to travel diagonally now with the lightning flash in reverse on the path of Nun, fish, represented by the tarot card of death and the astrological sign of Scorpio. Death is not foreboding. It also represents new beginnings. Only from death comes life. And all life leads to death. It's just a natural part of the process. We must allow what no longer fits to die and be replaced by something more. Scorpio is a sign of mystery, and it's very steadfast. And the Hebrew letter Nun, fish, the mysterious animal from the depths of the sea. The ichthys is what was represented by early Christians. But that symbol, the ichthys, and Nun, the fish, have been along long before Christianity was ever even begun conceptually. It represents the beginning and the end, cyclical nature of your existence. So now we've gone from a dross material manifestation and being to something that we recognize and appreciate, that cyclical, regenerates. It's a miraculous process, and we are caught in and benefiting and blessed with this as we meditate on these concepts and appreciate them. traveling from victory, securing and understanding the results and ambitions we want, which is spiritual consciousness, to travel, to be willing to allow our physical desires and identity to pass away. Become more aware of our spiritual identity. Traveling to Tifereth, the heart of the tree, represented with the Untitled Chakra, as you can see there in the green. Notice the Magen, the Star of David, in the center of that yantra, represented by the sun. The sixes of the tarot decks and the knights, and the suit of swords. Knights represent motion and action. They remind us to do more than just contemplate and realize and have awareness, but to put our spiritual ambitions and knowledge into practice, like we're doing here today, by actually taking the time to meditate and focus, not just contemplate and someday plan to be. We're doing it. We're taking action. That is what knights represent in the tarot deck. This one happens to be the Knight of Swords, which is even more about action. You can even see in the image there, that knight is charging on a mission. And our mission is clear: to attain union with our spiritual higher self, so to speak, our divine creator, illumination, realization, divination. The sun, our source of life. We've gone beyond the physical world, where life grows with the power and energy of the sun, and recognizing it as a source, the giver of life. What else can this be but the Godhead? Our concepts, our meditation, taking on loftier aspects. Focus on every and any, all the images you want, and take them in. Tifereth here is yellow, and yet the Anahata Chakra is green. And this is the heart. It's the heart of the tree. It is the radiation point where you radiate your soul's energy to the world around you. We all radiate what we have within us. You can choose what you're going to radiate: the best or your worst, the light and the truth, or the alternatives. We're going to continue our journey, leaving Sephiroth, heart of the tree. Say a gentle goodbye and know that you will miss being there within the space in the heart where all love is contained, which is what the beauty definition of Tifereth implies. It is the beauty of all things, the gorgeosity, the way we can honor and appreciate and be honored and be appreciated for our gifts, to be the beauty. This goes well beyond physical beauty, but spiritual beauty, perfection. As we continue our journey, traveling from Tifereth up the path, the branch, the tree branch of Zayin, which means sword in Hebrew. You can see the Hebrew letter there with a sword and a cap on its top, like a handle, like a hilt. Yet this sword is could be pointing down. It's not aggressive. It's prepared. The astrological suit would be Gemini, the twins, dualism, pairs, complements. The tarot card is the lovers, representing our union with things, soulmates, family, pets, our passions. You see in the image the Adam and Eve figures. You can see behind the female figure there is indeed a serpent winding around the tree. And behind the male figure is a tree with what looks like flames, yods, as its fruits. And the mountain between the two of them, representing the holy mountain of spiritual achievement and growth and progress. And they are blessed by a spiritual presence that looks over them, protects them, and the radiant source of life above the sun, providing a halo, illumination above this angel's head that is adorned with flowers, plants of life. We can have a harmonious relationship with all things. In this meditation, as we travel up the tree to spirit and away from the planet Earth, in the mundane realms, the Mayic realms, our true lover is divinity, spirit, infallible, unknowable. We can go beyond the intellect, beyond reason and understanding and intelligence to just love, gratitude, appreciation. We haven't left beauty behind from Tifereth. We brought it with us. Everything we've traveled so far, we've been accumulating the energies, the qualities, the virtues, bringing them with us to become more and more and more. Rather than less and dense and condensed, we're expanding. We use Zayin, the sword, to cut through the false from the truth, to cleave our way. To navigate a clear path as we travel and continue to progress through spirit. Traveling this branch, arriving to Bina, understanding, represented by the threes and queens, and the suit of cups of emotion and understanding. Understanding is more than an intellect. It is grasping, being open, accepting. Cups and what they contain. They can receive, they can contain thought and emotion, and they also can give. Our cups runneth over. We have the capacity as spiritual beings get beyond intellect and blend them with our feelings and our emotions to have greater understanding. Once again, looking at the tarot, pick any card that you're drawn to, and you can see the queens, what they represent, all of them in perfect poise, graceful and elegant. In the pentacles, she contemplates what she can create and generate, birth. In wands, you can even see the sunflower she holds in her hand and the crown of plenty. And there is a cat at her feet, maintaining the appreciation of the mysteries of all of it. Every detail. The Queen of Swords holds it upright with her hand aloft to dispense wisdom and understanding, the balance of things. And the Queen of Cups gazes upon and meditates upon the fluids and the flow of life energies. With her feet near a flowing river that is a current. We are now within Vishuddha Chakra, our throat region, where we communicate. Communication is a two-way street. It's how we import information and how we export it. This Sephiroth of Bina, the tarot correspondence of the queens, reminds us to import and export with sensitivity, with care, with thought, to be conscious of what we say and what we think, that we can indeed choose not just what to import and export, but how. As we travel up the tree into spiritual consciousness, understanding refers to true understanding, which is that I am not a human being having a spiritual experience. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I am a spiritual being. That's the true understanding. The rest is somewhat of an illusion. We're starting to gain the insight and understanding of what we truly are. Appreciate and honor this. We are within that throat chakra where we communicate. Its color is blue. On the tree, we have the color of coal. It's a lack of color. Teacher here is dualistic, and Saturn, of course, the teacher, the planet of returning, the planet of insight. When Saturn comes around, change is inevitable. It brings you, virtually forces you to a greater understanding and acceptance of your true nature. We're going to take all of you accumulated. We're going to travel. Now we've been traveling up, gradually zigzagging along the lightning path. And now we're going to travel horizontally along the path of Daleth, which means door in Hebrew. We have more dualism here. Doors provide entrance and exit. It's a two-way path. Daleth, this path goes from Bina to Chokmah. It also goes from Chokmah to Bina, from understanding to wisdom, from wisdom to understanding. Having one without the other is reckless. Wisdom without understanding is shallow, not complete. Understanding without wisdom is brutal. It's immature. But we're focusing now on the center here, the path that connects them. The card here is the Empress. The letter is Daleth, which is door. And you can even see in the Hebrew letter figure there with one side, and it's open. The door is open. And the Empress is all about abundance. There is the Venus glyph on her throne. She's surrounded by an abundance of life and nature. She holds aloft a scepter of illumination. She's dressed in a robe of roses and other flowers. Even her crown adorned with flowers. In the background, a forest of trees. Now you may notice in the center of this path, of this branch, is Dot. This is the ghost Sephiroth. We're not going to go into detail here today. It's a very profound, rather mysterious, beautiful, conceptual Sephiroth that exists and doesn't exist, as we now are above the veil of material illusion and gaining true perspective. We're traveling horizontally now, an easy path, as we bring with us all we've accumulated on our journey thus far. The horizontal path is comforting and relaxing. It's a coast to just flow horizontally. Take a moment and enjoy the concepts, the symbols, and the images that are here. Remember your intention as you've been traveling from materialness to spiritualness, materiality to spirituality. Now arriving, there's Dot. Sorry, there is a whole section there. Sorry about that. So Dot again is the ghost Sephiroth. It exists but does not exist. It's a shadow. It is indeed the mysteries, there to remind us that there is an oasis between where we can stop and pause and contemplate and rest from our journey on this horizontal path and branch. Dot represents the mysterious, the unfathomable, and the beauty and appreciation of that. Taking us into Chokmah, meaning wisdom, represented by the kings and the letters and the number 2. The suit of wands. Once again, we have the sun, the source. Our Vishuddha chakra, again from our throat. Think of the concept of wisdom. Allow Chokmah, the word itself, to be a mantra. All of the words, when you say them in Hebrew or in Sanskrit, they are mantras. They cause you to breathe and resonate within your subtle body. Wisdom is what intellect wants to be when it grows up. Wisdom is when knowledge and intellect is combined with experience. Raw intellect and knowledge is just that, it's raw. It has only theory, but not practice. With meditation and with these exercises, we're gaining both the knowledge, the insights, and now the experience, so we can feel them. The suit is the suit of wands. As you can see, the King of Wands image here is slightly larger than the rest. The King of Wands sits upon his throne. See a salamander down at the bottom by his feet, representing the travel of knowledge and the progression of knowledge and mysterious knowledge. Every element you see, the back of his throne, the crown on his head, the color of his robe, the cape, represents levels of his consciousness, progress, and growth as he gazes upon and contemplates the wand, which is our spirit in motion. Wands do not sit idly. Look at the sprigs of leaves coming off of it. It is a living thing. Take in the images. Be drawn to whichever one draws to you. Examine it. Ponder it. If you're experiencing with tarot, maybe you understand what the symbols there are within the images. And if you don't understand, that's okay. Simply take them in. Your subconscious mind is intrigued, absorbs them, sorts them. They're primordial concepts and images. So they speak a language to your spiritual consciousness that your intellect cannot necessarily grasp immediately. We've come a long way in our journey up the tree, traveling and climbing the tree, accumulating all of our virtues necessary to become more spiritually inclined, more spiritually aware, honoring and appreciating every one of them as we continue to grow and expand our very being. Pause in Hokmah. Be prepared to depart from Hokmah and know that you are above the veil and approaching the top of the tree. On the upward branch of Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, it means ox, a beast of burden that does the lifting, that carries the load, that is strong and stable and reliable. The element is air. We're high up now in the altitude. You can see the alchemical symbol down there of the air next to the Hebrew letter of Aleph. And we see in the tarot image, there's the Fool. Our correspondences is the Fool. So as we're very familiar with the Fool representing the beginning steps of the journey as he steps off a cliff, carefree, not even looking where he's going, with a flower in his hand and a kit bag over his shoulder, and the dog nipping playfully at his feet, or her feet. It's rather androgynous. Carefree, stepping off into the world to begin its journey into the material phenomena. But in this case, as we travel up, the Fool is stepping off into the abyss, into the unknown, into the beauty, into spirit, from the unknown to the known. The sun radiating above, providing warmth and sustenance. The entire time that we've been traveling up, reaching this plateau, approaching it, providing us with nutrition within our spirit, our body, and our mind. Our body is the beast of burden. All the material phenomena, everything within your material reality, are the tools that you can use if you perceive them and break them down the proper way with the spiritual lenses rather than the material ones. At this stage, the Fool doesn't represent just innocence and ignorance, sweet ignorance, but represents the transcendence of intellect and even emotion to simply be. Like a Zen state of just union and oneness, of just being. No longer crowded or shrouded by intellect and reason, mathematics. All you've accumulated is beginning to coalesce into a simple, basic understanding and wisdom of spirit, of awareness, of just being. The Fool can step off the cliff because she no longer needs what was from behind, where they've been. And She has complete and total faith and acceptance, which is why the Fool is so carefree. As we now approach and enter Keter, the crown, our Ajna chakra, which is 2 lotus petals on it. This does indeed represent approaching our crown chakra. The card is of the aces. Ace of Wands, Swords, Pentacles, and Cups. The primordial, the first, the beginning, and therefore the end, the alpha and the omega. In regular playing cards, aces are both. They are one, and they are also beyond the royal cards. They serve as both, whichever one you need. They're versatile. Bring your awareness into your Ajna chakra, the center between your eyes, your third eye, where true perceptions and wisdom can be felt, not just known. The energy that is there. The color, Ajna, is a blue-purple. And in Sephiroth, it is light. Feel these images, feel these concepts, feel your consciousness within your brain, within your mind, within your head. You can indeed, if you direct your focus and just allow yourself to feel sensorily your consciousness, your awareness. It has a sensation that anytime you want to, you can physically feel and perceive. It's there all the time. We just don't focus on it. You can see in the suite of in the ace cards that all of them have the hand of God holding their different elements. Water, earth, fire, and air. All of them combining to their maximum potential. Not only can you perceive the physical sensation of your own consciousness and awareness, but you can allow it and accept that it is indeed always trying to just expand. Let it be like a flower to grow outward. Extend beyond you. Traveling up beyond your Ajna third eye and into the crown of your skull, to the top of your head. As we travel now, we have now arrived at spirit, and now we're going to go beyond spirit. The Sahasrara chakra, the 1,000-petal lotus, which literally in Sanskrit doesn't mean 1,000. It means unlimited, uncountable. Within that, of course, is the mantra, the letter, and the symbol of Om. The Logos. In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was Om. We see at Keter, above Keter, we have Ein Soph hour. We've gone beyond. We've left the material plane a long time ago. We're now going into spirit and going even beyond spirit to the true power and source, the limitless light of Ein Soph hour. Going beyond creation's inception as it begins to become a real thing into Ein Soph, without limit. Now understand the definition of that. It doesn't say limitless. There's limitless light. Now there's without limit. They're different things. Without implies that it just does not even exist. Limitless means that the boundaries are too far, they're infinite, they're eternal. But without is they're not even established yet. Without limit. You are without limit. You are eternal. You are infinite. And if we allow ourselves to continue to just drift upon the current upwards, beyond Keter, beyond Ein Sof hour, beyond Ein Sof, into Ein nothingness. This is the Godhead itself, the divine source of creation. Ineffable, unknowable. The only thing that can know it is itself. And simply put, it is pure love. Limitless, without limit, nothingness, essence. Feel yourself well above the earth, well above space, boundless, limitless, beyond into nothingness. Everything exists and yet nothing exists. Take that moment and see if you can feel your consciousness connecting with unity, having union with the divine and your source. Take a moment of gratitude, appreciation, and know that you are that source's servant, and yet that source serves you. It is your servant. Now you can stay here, above Keter, Ein Sof hour, Ein Sof and Ein. You can stay away and out in an ethereal state of being. I don't recommend it because we got to live within the world. Let's come back down. Rather gradually but rapidly, we're going to densify. We're going to go from our nothingness and re-enter into the material realms, back into Ein Sof, as we begin from concept and inspiration and begin to become something tangible. Have awareness, realization. So we can come back down into our crown skull, our fontanelle, allowing our spirit to descend into matter again and travel back down the tree so we can re-enter into this time and space. Back to understanding, back to Tifareth, into Netzach and Scorpio. And as we descend back into this present moment of being aware of the space that you're in right now, in this moment, in this presence. We're going to wrap it up there. Any questions or comments? Chloe, any thoughts? Takes a moment to reorient.
Yeah, I think I appreciate having gone up and then back down again, because there's this integration. We have to be in the world, but try not to be of it, but we are still in the world. So how do we exist in all of these realms and appreciate all of them? And I've been trying to get beyond just the intellectual recently, and not just the gyan and the information, but like the feeling. And I think before I had all the information offered to me, I felt a lot of the feeling, and that was really emotional and really kind of more tangible. And then you get into this intellectual space where it sort of gets separated out.
Yeah.
You get really
it creates
analytical.
a division. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been trying to
like a zygote, it has to separate and begin to manifest, you know. Let me ask you real quick though, is what behind your head is one of your paintings?
Yeah.
Was that coincidence, or did you know I mean, you got the lightning flash there. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. And so, was that planned for this
That's what
meditation?
this is one of my favorites. I feel like this is like
That's
this face that's
brilliant.
coming out, and
That's
there is
just
this like
gorgeous.
duality thing.
And so there you go. As we do this, as you're saying, that creation of that, you went through this whole process, and that demonstrates it. And yes, the departure. And as you said, you have somewhat recently been not struggling necessarily, but the marriage of the intellect, the reason, the creativity, all this stuff is that hopefully you can see and experience some with this meditation is that this is how you do it, that this is a tool that we can use to begin that process intentionally rather than just allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
Again, as artists, when we create, that's what the creative process is the alchemical tree of life Kabbalistic process of manifestation, creation, and reverse, etc. But to be able to make time to set that aside and build a relationship with it and be able to do it at will whenever we want, that's hopefully what this meditation does. Amy, any thoughts or comments from you?
I do. I love that painting also. That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I guess all of this is very new to me, and it was a little overwhelming, but it was really amazing, and I'm excited to learn more. I felt everything you were speaking about. I
Well,
really appreciate that.
that's partly why I thought you would be a great guest here, because I know this is kind of new for you. And so Chloe has quite a bit of experience. Of course, I have a lot of experience. So I thought it'd be nice to have that contrast. And that's the reaction I was exactly hoping for, is that I don't really quite understand necessarily. It's a bit overwhelming, and it should be. That overwhelming is the power of it. That's what we want to create. We want to establish an overwhelmingness. We want to be overwhelmed. Certainly, as you begin to know God and the creative source, as you begin to know it, it is overwhelming, and it should be. And that's where we go on the journey, because we go through the entire thing and end up where the fool is, instead of becoming going down, traveling, but traveling up, and again, just being so beyond intellect and reason that it's simply an appreciation. And that's what I think is so great about truly spiritual practices, that it doesn't matter if you're an expert and been doing it a long time or you're brand new, you're basically doing the same thing and you're just doing it your own way. And so it's the same exercise, same practice for the master as it is for the beginner. One's just more comfortable with it. One's just more used to it. One's just more experience. So then everything you described indicates to me that you definitely got exactly what it was intended to do. I'm glad.
Good, thank you.
Hopefully what this does, of course, is it helps rearrange. It stays with us. What we're doing is installing awareness, perception, understandings that will continue to resonate and vibrate within us. So rather than over intellectualize and go on about it, we've been here for an hour already, and let's just leave it where it be. Let's just own it and appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know it's kind of hard to like. Is there some kind of final word? But yeah, I think it's just a sweet ending. Let's just stop it right there. Chloe, want to wrap it up?
Keep your third eye open.
Keep your third eye open. Come back again. We got more of these things coming, and we'll do some more intellectual, behavioral stuff that's coming up soon, and I'll have some more spiritual stuff. With this video will be the link to the workshop. That was absolutely wonderful. I think we had a lot of fun. There was a lot of challenges. So I presented the workshop at Chadesh Yameinu, and the Jewish community that I'm involved with, I mean, they're very challenging. They like to push your buttons. They like to be argumentative. That's how Jews are. So we liked, and so it was a lot of fun, and it was very warm and loving too, but very challenging. And so I think that I liked that, because rather than, again, the challenges, it really kind of stimulates and sparks the whole process in ways that I can't predict. So I encourage those who watch this for this just meditation part to go back and do the workshop, where you get all the understanding, all the layers, as we go through the origins of the tree and the lightning flash and what it means and how to use it and what its purpose is. Okay.
One thing I wanted to connect with the workshop that you mentioned there was intention and
Yeah.
having some sort of intention. And even if your intention is, I don't know, I don't really have one. And I I remember during the workshop, I was thinking that like, oh, I want to have it. I want to have an intention, but I don't really have one. But what I was thinking during this meditation
Yeah.
halfway through was, I see how the subconscious and the spirit have been working and connecting these things I've been thinking about as being my intention and integrating in with this that what I was talking about earlier of connecting the emotional and the intellectual. So it all sort of manifested naturally in a way for me that feels rather natural. And so I recognize my intention sort of after the fact.
I'm glad you brought up intention, and I'll tell you, I kind of regret now that I didn't begin by saying what you're. But here's why though, because this meditation, lightning flash in reverse, has this meditation. I've been saying that, and our intention is to transcend material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. And often what I remind people is when you don't know what your intention is, let me ask you this, because I know how adept you are. When you don't know what your intention is, what's your intention? When you realize that you're kind of frustrated, like, I don't know my intent, but you're having an intention.
Yeah, I think it's to be open.
It's to have an intention.
Yeah.
You just want to know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know I want to know, so I want to know what to know. And I think that my spiritual journey actually became more mature and focused because as I met my Swami and my guru, and I would say, I don't know what to think of when I'm doing devotional bhakti meditations. What do I do? Like what's my action? That's where this began. And my Swami was saying to me, simply meditate on the fact that you don't know and you want to. And I was like, wow, that's incredibly simple. And as I'm doing it, I felt the power of that, because what that is longing. I was there in tears next time I'm doing it, thinking, I just want to know you, my creative source, divination. I just want to know you. I want to be intimate with you. I want to know. I don't know what I don't know what I'm supposed to meditate on. And so therefore, I want to know what that is. And sure, you end up getting kind of led and guided towards it. The light draws you in,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, intention, I think, is everything. So, all right, well, thanks for joining me. And yeah, keep your third eye open. You never know what you might find, but you'll find something profound, that's for sure. I hope you enjoyed this brief mystical meditation with Tarot and the Tree of Life. The full workshop, which describes the true origins and how to apply Tarot and the Tree, is streaming now on all your podcast channels and on YouTube. Be well, 93. Let's take a brief pause so I can offer you something. The Cosmic Consciousness book series are workbooks made for your spiritual development and growth. Each workbook gives you the true knowledge, the actual origins, and step-by-step instructions and exercises to put your spiritual systems into practice. They are detailed, have illustrations, and are excellent for the beginner as well as the adept. There are nearly a dozen workbooks available in print and in ebooks. Cosmic Consciousness, Volume 1, teaches you the science and the metascience of how consciousness works and how to elevate it. As above, so below, the universe and beyond. A journey through the origins of the universe, physics and metaphysics. The complete philosophy of yoga, a path to higher consciousness. A comprehensive guide to all 8 branches of Ashtanga Yoga, Tantra Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. This complete guide includes step-by-step illustrated instructions for yoga asanas, lifestyle, meditations, and how to attain the holy grail of consciousness, self, soul, spiritual, and divine realization. Tarot, a symbolic exploration of mind and spirit, covers the true origins of tarot as a pictorial version of Kabbalah's Tree of Life and includes detailed interpretation of all 78 of the major and minor arcana cards, readings and how to use tarot as it was originally intended, a device for your spiritual development. Kabbalah, a mystical journey on the Tree of Life, a full color workbook with pull-out sheets for easy reference as you learn the true origins and practical use for the Tree of Life as a roadmap for spiritual illumination and manifestation. Tarot and the Tree of Life, special limited edition. This workbook combines both the Tarot and Tree of Life workbooks into a single volume with an added section called The Bridge. This brand new limited edition has a unique English format for Tarot and Hebrew format for the Tree. It is fully illustrated in full color. Other workbooks in the Cosmic Consciousness series include Alchemy, Numerology with Sacred Geometry, Tao and Zen with the I Ching, the true origins and paths of the world's religions, nature religions, and Wicca, ceremonial magic and hermetic science, and others. To quote Teilhard de Chardin, I am not a human being having a spiritual experience. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. Whether you are an advanced student of spiritual work or a beginner, these small but thorough workbooks will provide you all that is needed to have a more fulfilling spiritual experience. Why wait? You've waited long enough. For details, samples, and to order, go to life-mind.com. That's life-mind.com. Until next time, leave your third eye open. Full episodes, services, knowledge, and all you'll ever need on scottspacky.com and life-mind.com.